In this lesson, we'll be adding a player to our level, which you can control using the keyboard or using the touch screen if you're on a mobile phone. The first thing we want to look into is on how to add it to the level, because you could either manually load it wherever in certain coordinates of your game, or you can just place it on the map editor and then Quintus will know where to create the player. Let me start by saying that we will add to the code a new type of element, a new class called player. So that's going to be the name of this class, because I'm going to be adding that in here, and you need to know that the reason why I'm adding it is because that needs to match exactly with what we're doing in the code afterwards. So we need to add, if we want to have entities in our level, we need to add a new layer, and that's going to be an object layer. You can give it any name, but that's the layer we'll use for enemies, for players, and for other things in the game. Now, using this element here, we can place a tile in here, and it'll be an object. So I said already that we are using another file for the game entities, which is sprites.png. But so I could either load that in here, or I could just, to make it easier, I'm just gonna grab. I know that this is what the player looks like, so I'm just gonna give this particular tile a class, and I'm gonna use this to represent the player. So I'm gonna go to tile properties, give it a class, and that class is going to be player. So remember, I'm writing here player not because it's the player of the game, but it's because this matches the name that I will then write into the in the actual code. So now that I have this tool selected and this tile, I can just place this player wherever I want. I'm gonna place it here and save. Now let's go to the code itself. I have a new file in scripts, which is player.js. So I have to make sure that that file is included in index.html, otherwise it won't be loaded. And now if we go to game.js, see how I'm including this new module. This new module is called Action Platformer Player. It's kind of a long name, but that's what I've called it. And now if we go to player, I'm creating this new module, which is the same name that I entered in game.js. And in here, I'm going to create the player class. So I'm going to do that by extending the sprite class. Sprites are the images that you put on your game. It's going to be called player, and it's going to have some I'm just going to copy the contents of this class and explain it. So the init method is what's called when you create the player. It's the constructor, and basically a player, all it does, it just calls it just initiates a sprite, the parent class of player. That's why it uses supper. That's what it uses to call the parent, which is in this case is sprite. And the sheet it uses is player. Remember, in sprites.json we have player here with the corresponding coordinates, so that's the image that will be used. Even if you used a different image on your map editor, this is the image that will be used. We give it a certain jump speed and a speed of movement, and we add two components. The 2D component, which means that there'll be gravity, there'll be basic physics, collision, and platformer controls, which allows you to move this with both the keys and the touch screen. Let's now load this. This is number 3. See how the player is right there, and I can move it, it can jump. It's a basic Mario clone, but we lost it because we don't have a camera yet. But we do have a platformer character that we can move. So if you try to open this code on a mobile phone, it's going to show you the buttons to move it, and we'll also going to show you that on the next video.